Dear Rudy, MD, DVN, Super Taco, OBGYM, don't have the stomach, who graduated the magna cum giggity laud. I know. Been a Magic player since 4th edition. Seen many ups and downs, as we all have, Michael. Never expected my family to be so far in debt. I would need to sell a portion of Magic to pay for it. 2019 has been a hell of a year for him, and required several emergency repairs. So I just want to give everyone a general idea here. So this is a gentleman who just liquidated and sold a part of his collection to cover, I guess, real world things. And this is a gentleman who's had these cards for a long time, so it's not like he bought these, was trying to flip them, or do anything along those lines. This is a standard story of just, hey, long-term Magic player, worked out very well, and then whenever you need money, you just sell a little bit into it. So see, these are good stories. This is the positive side of being like a long-term Magic investor. And then literally long-term, when you need money, you can sell a little chunk of your collection. You can really acquire very good returns and very strong money. So I like stories like this versus the leverage and selling at a loss type thing. So very, very happy to see stuff like that. So first on this collection, we're going to start with this From the Vault Relics. Probably my favorite, just because of the packaging. My all-time favorite. Gorgeous packaging from the Vault. And again, I can't believe I say this. I know we all hated the foiling and the warping and the curling, but I really miss From the Vaults. I wish they would have just fixed and made the quality of the cards a little better. But God, the packaging, I mean, look at this. Look at this. The whole magnetic. Hold on. One more time. I really miss it. I really do. So obviously when you buy these type of things, most important thing, you can't open these. There's no actual outer seal. So you can inspect these things without really taking apart or damaging the product. So you just want to the biggest thing is you want to verify you do get the dice. The die? The die. The 20-sided die on here is very important. These dice are very tough to get and can be very expensive. So again, there's no actual fancy outer seal, so you can actually check these things. The pamphlet and paper is not that important, but you definitely want to just kind of do a quick tear down. And I kind of want to damage the plastic or anything. And just a quick little lookaroo. Because a fun fact, like I said, these dice are pricey because they have the little symbol. And some of these little different ones, and again, From the Vault Relics actually has a reserve list card in it in foil. The only foil, I believe it's the only foil Mox Diamond ever printed in existence. And it has that different set symbol. So make sure they are all actually factory sealed. They have that textbook little, can you guys see that red line? The little tear line and everything. So make sure you check all your cards and everything. Make sure there's nothing shady going on. I don't think I've ever really run anything weird with From the Vault products. Usually they're pretty standard. I've never seen anybody really do any shady crap. But again, definitely just keep an eye out, because every time you say that, you'll start getting confident and cocky. Then that's when the time someone will do something, or you'll get hosed because you didn't verify something. So yeah, just want to say, so that is a From the Vault. Next thing, we'll move on over here. This particular collection purchase in the old rudyscreepystore.com/reach around lava claw. Let's take a look here. So we do have some pretty spicy cards. We got some beautiful stuff today. We got ourselves a very, very nice little, I don't know what's with these. We got some Mox Diamond, some surface staining damage. Not sure what's going on there. It's kind of weird texture, so that's kind of sucks. But we got a nice Mox Diamond. Mox Opal is not one of the cards I'm a big fan of. I'm probably be flipping this. By the time you watch the video, it'll probably already be sold. This is a major, major red flag reprint target anytime because of how long it's been since it's been reprinted and the high price of it. So the Mox Opal is a card I'm not a fan of. We also have a couple Italian legends. Now, most of you have been around a long time. You guys know I'm not a huge... God, sorry, the lighting. I got the lighting a little too bright today, I think. I'm not a mega fan of the Italian legends, mostly because the print run is so much higher than the English counterpart. The only thing I like about Italian legends is the bold, beautiful colors. That's really the biggest positive to it. Past that, I'm not really a huge fan, so we definitely have some, definitely not minty, but definitely very beautiful played Italian legends. So, Abyss from Italian Legends. We have one Nether Void from Italian Legends. Let's take him out. This one's actually pretty nice. I would actually think this is probably going to be a near mint one. Yeah, that's a very nice Italian Legends there. Now, this is the one that hurt the most, everybody. Gorgeous Chaos Orb. Or is it? Look closer. Nasty staining. And ready for the back? Oh my god. Doesn't that just make your heart sink? Brutal. And again, can you guys in the comments section please let me... I asked the guy, what's the story with this? He claims this is from the factory. So any of my professionals out there, you know, Tavis, Edwin, Chang, Vintage Magic, any of these entrepreneurs that are on the world that understands the details of these bizarre surface, he claims is his factory, but either way, it's so beautiful. But God, that surface staining is just painful. Holy smokes! Anybody who has information, if you have examples similar, let me know. Still brutally painful. We had one unlimited edition dual land in this particular collection. Some nasty, nasty surface. Looks like some people were writing on it with a pen or pencil. A lot of deep surface damage, and of course, a lot of play wear on the back. Beautiful unlimited dual land. Now, the rest, we have a crap ton of revised duels. We almost have a full, so we got 3 Underground Sea, beautiful revised duels. I've already kind of light tested and looped and checked all the characteristics and the little tiny attributes to verify they're authentic. But I want to share with everybody, definitely well loved. Very, very nice, as always. You can never have enough. I stand by that. Even this weaker market, I'm telling everybody, market conditions go from bullish to bearish, and they can turn on a dime, so be very careful out there. Tundra is one of those cards. Don't be thrown off when you see the slight variant on the border color, a little bit more of the gray tones versus a little bit more of the brown tones. That is normal. It's always been that way for these revised, especially like Tundra is very noticeable. Like you'll notice this top one has a different shade color compared to the other ones. That's normal. So we got 3 nice Tundras there. What else we got going on? We got 3 also tropical islands over here. Very nice. Again, unfortunately, none of these are perfect looking or gradable suspects, but they the biggest issue is, you know, remember everybody, these old cards, people played with these old cards and they used them without sleeves. So, you know, when people, as these cards aged, most of them unfortunately have a lot of surface damage. Because if you look at it from a distance, you're like, oh my God, look at that. Look at those taigas, everybody. Those things are like perfect looking. These things should be graded Gem Mint 10s, right? And then when you look at them more up close and everything, you look at them, you're like, well, wait a minute. You got all kinds of spots, little white specking, chipping, and yeah, you probably shouldn't grade them. Although this taigas are probably the nicest of the batch. And also, if you look real close to, when you have those kind of little flared, kind of dented corners, they usually, some of the graders sometimes will just beat you up on those bad boys. Same thing, Scrubland here, another one of the cards that have a lot of the variants out there. You've got the more gray tone, softer, and then more of the brown. You guys see the border difference? So you can have different shades of the border. Like that back one looks completely different than the front too. So that's also very normal for that particular type of card. Savannahs, same thing. You can see the first 2 Savannahs, the coloring and shading looks very different. Does not mean it's a counterfeit or anything. It just means there are different variants to it. Overall, I would consider most of these just kind of played. I wouldn't really grade any of these type things, but overall, no major concerns. And again, remember, don't underestimate. Remember, when you check old cards, everybody, look at this. See, like I told you guys, these things look nice from a distance. You get up close, and you go, holy crap, what happened here? You got more, looks like people dented up the card and wrote on it. And you can see through the back, a little punching, because you can see all the dents in the card. The surface is very rough feeling. So, but that's normal. That's normal. And again, doesn't make the card any less desirable. It just means the condition's a little lower, and it means you really can't grade the card. It's not that big of a deal. But it's something people need to understand when evaluating and pricing these old cards. Because we haven't talked about reserve list or dual land. We haven't done this in a long time. Same thing. Look at these dual lands. You got the more gray, more brown variants on the frames. And definitely played and very well loved, but very nice, authentic cards nonetheless. So we're getting to the last few here. Same thing, Bayou. If you guys look at this, look at the shade of difference. Where's Rudy's tool? Where's Rudy's tool? So you guys can see, look at that difference. Look at that middle one compared to that top one. Look at that brown versus more of a gray tone difference. So that happens a lot too. And the last 2 here, we got some bad lands. Not really much to say. Very well loved, but very real. Okay, so those are the big daddies here. I want to get into some miscellaneous stuff. This happens a lot with myself and many stores where you kind of have to buy cards you really don't want to buy, but you kind of want this stuff, so you kind of have to buy this stuff with it. So these are cards I'm all going to sell and just kind of flip. Some of them are exciting about, some of them not. Coat of Arms, this is, I think it's Sliver Deck. So we got a Graveborn deck. You can tell by the skull logo. And by the way, some of those... they hold pretty good value, believe it or not. Like some of these things, they actually are worth quite a bit. Like these reanimates, everybody. Don't underestimate the value of like these reanimates. So I'm going to sell these pretty quickly on eBay and probably locally. I'll probably see if I can get some people just to kind of buy out the whole lot. Animate Deads, old school card reprinted. So, you know, I'm going to recoup some of my money by selling a lot of these individually. Looks like they kind of broke down a Sliver deck, some of the foil decks. These ancient, this, by the way, is anybody aware of these old ancient Zigarudada, ancient Zillow? No, I'm kidding. But I mean, is anybody noticing, again, some of these are pretty rough. You look at that, even the foiling's chipping away, see that? But anyways, these are actually pretty in demand, though. Pretty easy to sell. Same thing with the Animated Dead. For 14th edition, I guess technically. M14, foil, nothing exotic. I'll probably just flip it. Basic land, Avacyn Restored foil, probably sell it for $1. You know, the old probe. Now, the old probe, Giggity, is, yeah, you know, these sell pretty nicely. Not worth a ton of money, but they do sell. Same thing, these Talisman, a lot of these old school, what's original Mirrodin, Dark Steel, type of 5th Dawn era cards. These type of cards sell pretty good. Lightning Helix, Master Series, M15 Uncommon foil, old school Planar Chaos foil. Again, if you guys can see, look at the surface wearing and damage on these foils. Can you look at that in the camera? Look at the light. Look at that flicker wisp. He's rough. So we got a Forest. We got a little sliver. Okay, so this is our, we got a couple little muscle slivers. You know, DCI foil promos. Not really worth a ton, but they're cool. They're neat. And we got an old school Scourge Legions. I can't remember. Old school foil, but I just think it's beautiful. Not worth much, but beautiful. Same thing. Flicker Wisp. Now remember, when you evaluate these old cards, everybody, make sure you look at that surface. Look how bad that surface is. Very, very bad. So a lot of people go, oh, I set my foils to Flying Castle Snowball Kingdoms of really awesome things, and they downgraded my cards. I'm going to bash them on the internet. No, you probably didn't evaluate your cards correctly. And yeah, I deal with that. That's why I usually refuse to buy old foils. But on something like this, when you have something that has a bunch of older reserve lists with it, it was kind of a package deal. 7th edition foil. By the way, now this is a very nice 7th edition foil. This is probably the only foil that's probably closest to near mint compared to the other ones. The surface is actually clean, where most of the time they're not. So other news, little Blood Braid Elf, very controversial historical card. It is signed, so I don't know. That's going to go to my signed bin of the abyss in the back room behind the bookcase with the rest of signed cards I don't like. Uncommon. Path to Exiles, sell them all day long, couple dollars a piece. And you got some weird stuff. What is this? Portal Second Age, couple $1. Portal, or third? Yeah, Portal Second Age. Believe it or not, the original Ravnica City of Guilds type of card, there's another one back here also. What was this? Dissension. These original Ravnica, these original type of Shocklands are actually still a little bit more sought after and have a couple $1 extra premium compared to the new ones because people just like the original OG stuff, man. Ghostly Prisms, I mean, Conspiracy 2, Take the Crown Uncommon. I don't care, I'll sell them for like $2. Inquisition, same thing. These are all from Rise of the Eldrazi. What is this, Worldwake era? Yeah, all originals. They were a lot more money at one point in time, but with the reprints and being in Conspiracy and different sets, not a lot of action there. If you're looking to invest or collect long-term cards in that pile, I would definitely recommend just pumping those back to the market, collecting your money. And of course, as always, looking for the goodies that are really out there that hold the big money long-term. Not you. You need to go. Honestly, if this was reserve list, I would be definitely saying you guys need to hold on to this. But the fact this is not, it will get the reprint hammer sometime, probably within the next 36 months. So even if it's like $50 to $100 now, that thing's going to get crushed by 50%. So that's all I have. I hope you guys learned something today. And obviously, for those of you who are still watching towards the end of the video, I know not many people do according to the YouTube statistics, but just remember, obviously, not been doing as many deals lately, been kind of stepping back, mostly because two things. Number one, the market prices, the buy list prices continue to be very soft, and a lot of people out there are not happy with the lower prices, so I'm not able to do deals with them. In addition, number two, simply put, I've been a lot more selective. There's just a lot of people out there wanting to sell right now, and you know, a lot of the collections, if they're packed with stuff like this, I don't want to deal with it. You need to really have a lot of this to make me want to do a deal with you right now and, you know, make a video on the channel and do all that. But of course, if anyone out there does have a lot of old stuff and you are comfortable with today's pricing or you want to lock in a lot of money or anything, yeah, I have no problem. Just like this gentleman, I have no problem paying thousands of dollars to buy this stuff. But that's about it. As always, thank you all for watching. And again, if anyone has any questions or comments or old goodies in the vintage reserve list world, AlphaInvestmentsLLC at gmail.com. Besides that, as always, I hope you learned something today. I hope you're enjoying yourself in life because it's a lot of beauty out there. And you guys have a fantastic day.